I was actually delivering pizza was my first job when I was 19.
What would be your profit margins when you run like 10 plus projects?
Honestly, it's not as many as it should be. You don't have to overcharge. You know, you could be paid for what you're doing, and half of our team got on this side of the beam and the machine lifted it on that side.
So if you guys watching it, I'm telling you, get in a trade. Last year, I visited over 25 companies. We're visiting Nepa builders in Pennsylvania. Owner of the business, Toby, invited me personally. We have very similar stories. We both entered trades in the early 20s. We both delivered pizza in our humble beginnings. So this episode is very, very special. I know you guys are gonna enjoy it. Give it a like if you like this content. Let's go. Today, we're visiting First Remodeling Company. It takes me back to my memories, all the way to my humble beginnings. I started with renovation, remodeling. All of this is such an amazing feeling. If you've been in construction, you really experience this for life. First question I have for you, how did you get into construction in the first place?
I was actually delivering pizza was my first job when I was 19. I had a roommate who was in construction. His boss was looking for a little bit of help, didn't know how to read a tape measure. Told the guy and that's what he was looking for. He was looking for somebody young, trainable, wants to work hard. I think, you know, not only did I learn a trade, but, you know, to get up early, clean up, be ready, and, you know, to learn those responsibilities really, I think is what, you know, set me up for life, really.
That's a lot of cedar shake. What is it, 7-inch reveal?
Yeah, it is, yes.
I remember installing 7-inch, takes days.
It's very tedious.
How long did it take you to do the siding?
Siding, soffit, fascia, 6 weeks.
The real hardwood? Oh wow,
Yeah.
It's what, 6 inches?
It is, yeah, 6-inch. It's white oak, it's raw, so we're gonna lay it, sand it, and finish it. Character grade, it's
I love white
very
oak.
naughty. It's pretty, very pretty.
White oak is very good.
Yep.
How much something like this cost in this area now?
So this is just under $1 million.
Under $1 million.
Yeah, after it's all said and done, yep.
Is it a cost plus? Cost plus is a method that builders charge for their work. So if you hire a builder, you can get a bid for entire project, like, hey, I'll build you a house for $1 million, and this is what including in the bid in the house. But you also can get a builder to manage labor and materials and pay him percentage on top of labor and materials. What Nepa builder does, they just charge going rates for each trade, and that's how they make money.
Yeah,
Anderson windows.
Yeah, Anderson 400 series windows.
And I like these floors.
Yeah, they'll come out nice when they're sanded. You can see like the
So fast to install too. 6 inches goes fast.
twice the time, right? Instead of 2 1/4 or
3 times the time.
Yeah.
How many projects you have working on right now?
Right now, 13 in total.
13 projects in total.
Yeah, 8 guys, and we have a great solid team of the subcontractors that, you know, we work on every job with those guys. They're almost an extension of us when we're not there.
Do you guys have finished basements here when you?
Yeah, usually
is it a common thing?
It is. Usually, it's more common. Someone will build the house, and then maybe the year after, or the following year, 2 years later, they'll come back and refinish the basement.
How do you find most of your jobs?
We're on House. House is good for builders. It absolutely is. Facebook, Instagram. So that's basically, and you know, referrals is the ultimate, you know, lead generation. You do a good job and you take care of people, and that word spreads quickly.
Very often homeowners are thinking that contractors and builders are just walking loaded with money, mainly because of the cost of the projects. You're building $1 million house, you're doing $60,000 roof, and people just assume that you have high profit margins. Unfortunately, not all trades have high profit margins in them. It's crazy to me that Nepa builders only have 3-4% net profit margins. We're all shooting to be more profitable, but at the end of the day, after you pay for all your mistakes, it has to come from somewhere. And you're doing big projects too. I mean, this is $1 million home.
Yeah, it's a ton of liability. You're really a professional money handler.
A lot of contractors who are not disciplined with money, they just run away or spend a little bit more.
Right.
And then they file bankruptcy and they run away.
Yep.
Give one advice to the homeowner who are about to hire a builder.
You have to check your references. You have to get to know the individual.
I always said that 80% of the project or your activity for the day is done by noon. And the rest of the day is just you finishing touches and stuff. Is it true?
Absolutely true. The day is made or lost by 9:30. I think yeah.
Love it.
Your guys, if you're not there at 6:45, getting ready to start at 7, you lost.
Is there anything you will not take or doesn't make you money that you don't want to deal with in remodeling?
We basically moved away from just repairs. When we go and do a remodeling project, it's a gut. We want to get it as close to new home construction as we can.
How do you find your employees?
So it was a search for a local college, trade school, Johnson College. They have a form, a platform that you can kind of submit what you're looking for. Basically, those two guys, we found them through word of mouth.
It's hard to find?
Very hard to find, yeah, extremely.
How do you explain it? Like we have job security, it pays really well.
Yeah.
Why do you think 20-year-olds not trying to get into construction?
Yeah, I really think that from my experience growing up, I had a father, had a second job on the weekends to just, make ends meet, right? And he would come home every night and say, if you don't want to work like me, 2 jobs until 11 o'clock at night on the weekends, you better go to college. And I think we ingrained an idea in a lot of our generation's minds of, hard work is a bad thing, that we better go to college for something that's not hard work if we want an easier life. Maybe that's true to some degree, but what about everything in this country that needs to be built? What about the honor or the pride that comes with trades? There's a lot of people. I think I was born and built for it. If I had gone to college, I probably would have missed my calling.
How much you pay on start? Like someone with no experience?
$13 an hour to get started.
And that's with no experience.
Right.
How crazy is that?
Right.
$13 an hour, that's your school, that's your education. You're paying me
Correct.
to learn.
Paid education, yeah. It's a win-win.
How much you pay experienced worker?
If you start off at $13 an hour, on average, $1 to $2 an hour per year.
This is the second story addition. The first story was below. We cut the roof off and added the second story and tied it back into the house.
How much is this project?
Right now it's at $325,000.
$325.
Yep. Yeah, this is the new foyer. You could see that the top of the old wall.
So this was old or new?
This is old. Here's the height of the old wall.
Is this add-on or no?
Yeah, just a little bit from, you could see where, right here over, and that's where we discovered that there was no footer under the house when we got into this portion, this little bump out. And so we literally built over the top of the first story, added some lights, added the HVAC system. So that was another part of what they wanted out of the project was they have only electric baseboard with no air conditioning. So we provided heating and cooling in the duct system. This is the existing kitchen. We covered everything so you're not, try to mitigate or keep the dust away from the existing cabinets. This is a chase for some duct work. You have to get in. Sometimes you're getting into more of this stuff than you planned for or estimated, and this project has more of that than others. We started this October. We started in October. Yeah. Although things, maybe take steps backwards, people gain things throughout the process also. Usually on every project, we have somewhere to lay the plans out. Permitting is there. So they're going to put an engineered floor down here because of the height of this step to this step. It's so high already, and they're not going to change the stairs.
So you have to be
a thinner 3/8 engineered to not make that another 3/8 higher than a problem already exists.
Yeah. So this is all new.
Yeah, starting from where you are right now, this is the addition.
What CRM do you use?
Builder Trend.
Builder Trend.
Yeah.
That's like the most common for builders.
I'm not even sure that it is, but we started using it maybe 4 years ago.
How many users do you have?
4. It's night and day. I would never go back. And there's a lot of that work out there with very little people to perform it.
Whole bunch of trades are wide open right now, and installers are in demand. You can literally join with no experience, learn the trade. Within 6-8 months, you can start your own business. If you're willing to work with your hands, you can become a millionaire in 5-6 years. What's the worth of this house after renovation? Do you calculate it?
After the renovation, yeah, this will be worth $1 million for sure.
11 acres.
Yeah. Seeing the treads, that used to be a doorway. Now we closed it off. So this wall paneling ran all the way around. We had to take more wall paneling off than we planned to, so you could properly spackle this and tie this wall in. So that there's another thing that you didn't plan on, maybe 2 feet of wall paneling to be replaced, but you can't leave it there and spackle only this much. You're not going to get the right finished product. So you take it off and
Same thing here. We had to take this paneling off that we didn't account for, and maybe we should have, but even in estimating, and like we mentioned earlier, you try to see all these things coming. You don't catch every single thing. So this is one of the added, well, this isn't added, but renovated bedrooms. Basically gutted it. It was a different configuration. We've reframed it. Again, the HVAC system, the unit is up there, and we just found ways to duct it to all these rooms in the house. 2 bathrooms in the house, 3 tile showers. Actually, the one room that we didn't go in up there, there's a one room it's a tile shower and a tub in one big area.
Do you provide deadline? Do you guarantee deadline to the homeowner?
No, we don't. We try to outlay a schedule, but to guarantee a deadline, especially in renovation, it's nearly impossible. It's a guarantee that it's going to change. And I think instead of promising a deadline, to be upfront to say this is what we're shooting for. But with that said, I know that we're going to run into delays throughout this process, and it goes back to the marriage. If you have a good understanding in the beginning and you're upfront with those communications, people will accept it when you're 2 weeks behind for any given reason.
Let's talk about profit margins and mistakes.
Oh yeah.
I feel like with HD TV, everybody thinks it's easy. You know, you watch a couple episodes and you just, I'm gonna flip my house. And one thing about construction, it doesn't matter how many years of experience you have, nothing ever goes as planned. There's always something. How do you build your prices, I guess?
Yeah, so I think a lot of it is really learning your way into it, like learning the hard way, the paid education thing. In a lot of ways, you estimate something that you on the surface should be what it is, and then you find those hidden treasures on the inside. And so, you know, I guess over a series of repetition rather.
What's the last time that you lost money on a job because of the mistakes?
It happens a lot. In renovation, there maybe you need to have another 5% for those conflicting items that you know you're going to come across. That you're not just shopping pricing as much as you're shopping what's the finished product here that we're buying from this person. How confident are we in any PA builders versus somebody else that they're going to take care of our home versus the guy that maybe is $10,000 cheaper.
For new home construction and renovations, those 2 platforms, if I were to pick 2, it would be Facebook and House for sure.
Facebook and House.
Yeah.
And what kind of content you put there? Just the finished projects or?
Before and afters, yeah. Yeah, if it's not too lengthy. More finished product than before. Between Facebook ads and then the Google local service ads, those 2, when we have any ad spend, that's where we spend the money on ads. It was designed to have posts on either side of the island, and the homeowner hated the thought of the posts. So, well, how are we going to get rid of that? A steel beam was the solution. So in this wall, there's a beam pocket, and in that exterior wall where it goes through the cabinet, there's a beam pocket. Yeah, what this represents, if anybody knew what this possessed by standing under it, you would want to do one of these just to make sure you're not standing under it, because it's holding up everything, you know. I think the beam itself was $2,000 just for the steel itself. So the beam work is probably $5,000 just to buy the beam and put it in place. Bathroom, this is the bedroom and the master closet, and then we went up above the garage and did a bedroom up there. So they've been good to us. Every year they come and add projects, and it's nice when it works that way. And the stairs, so it was her. She actually spent enough time to find spindles with this detail to match the hardware on the cabinet, to see that little basket. Yep. A detail that most people wouldn't know, but you know, it was one of her projects to make sure that those things lined up, and she did it. The homeowner did a good job. Yeah. So this is the kids' loft. They like going up there and playing. It's like their tree house up there. And then this is the room over the garage this was one of the very last things that we did for them, was came and put this bedroom in over the garage. So this was just like an attic space. This was one project that we got into the electrical on the addition, and the entire house was almost on one circuit. So we literally had to refeed the electrical to the whole existing house. That was a hard pill to swallow.
Give one advice to someone brand new, maybe who've been working for a remodeling company for years and now decide to go on their own.
Yeah, to not hesitate and go for it. And you know, I don't think there's no playbook. You know, you just have to get into it and find your way through it. There's mentors out there. There's people that at this point you could reach out to for some questions or assistance or, you know, guidance.
Like, what's the easiest trade to make money?
I think roofing, honestly. I think roofing? Yeah. Although you have, you know, there's more liabilities there, but it's, there's a quicker turnaround, a couple of days on the job site, and you have everything maybe dialed down to a more specific number. You're not going to run into too many oddball. There's not going to be a flying splice under a shingle, and if there is, you got a real problem. Net profit on a kitchen remodel that we do, we're hoping to make net profit 10%. Yeah, and also the roofing now, on the other hand, you could be hoping to make a net profit of 30%. So 10 to 30, we'll say, depending on the, what kind of roof it was or whatever. So
is it hard to compete with the big box stores like Home Depot, Lowe's when it comes to cabinets and stuff?
It's hard to compete just because of their advertising and their reach. But it's not hard to compete, again, when it comes back to value. Somebody who can not only design your kitchen, but install it. When you come to maybe a smaller contracting company like ours, that's what we do. But yeah, so we stick to what we see here. Basically, we have 1,000 SKUs of flooring that we have ability to have, but that doesn't mean it's the best or right for everybody. So absolutely stick to.
What's your go-to flooring today? I see you have some vinyl here.
Yeah, laminate vinyl.
Laminate vinyl.
Yeah, the tariffs have been a little bit tough on the laminate vinyls, but there's companies that are doing things they're moving plants. Like Congolium is one that had moved, and now they're
what's the going rate to install floors these days?
$2 a square foot to install.
Labor?
For the subcontractor. Yes.
When I first started, I charged $1 a square.
Yeah.
It was 2010.
Yeah, I remember it was 2008. It was $1,
and I could make $500-600 a day with those rates.
Yeah, cabinetry in today's trend, if you will, what you see here is really the white shaker cabinet is almost 90% of cabinets that are going in.
Nice, clean look.
Yeah, nice, clean, not a lot of profile. That's really the go-to.
What about countertops? I see you have some Korean.
Yeah, Korean quartz, Wilson Art, Cambria. Quartz has taken over the market. Absolutely, it's a good product. It doesn't stain, as opposed to granite. This is a granite here, which I love. Natural stone. I think it's
Cecilia, or
I think it is. I think it is.
I remember installing so many of those.
Yeah.
The most impressive part of entire company tour with Napa Builders for me was personally, it's not the job sites, it's not their 13 projects, it's not quality of work, but quality of people. 7 guys, absolutely amazing. Everybody works super hard, nice, just pleasant to be around, but also their financial discipline. I've seen guys 6:30 in the morning for a company meeting. I mean, that's just impressive. I've seen accounting coming in and reviewing financials with the project managers, with the owner, something that's missing in our industry, something that a lot of guys, a lot of builders, a lot of contractors and tradesmen in general, just not willing to learn. I always say numbers don't lie. Napa Builders is a great example how you can build multi-million-dollar construction business as long as you're open to your numbers, you know your business, you understand the good, the bad, and the ugly. As a matter of fact, I worked for a builder in 2009, 2011 that went out of business. He was robbing Peter to pay Paul way too much. I was not aware of financial issues with the company, and business owner that I worked for lost everything, and I ended up starting my own business and promising myself I will never work for anyone else for that reason. So my advice to you contractors, make sure you have a good accountant, make sure you have good accounting software, and make sure you're not in the dark about your numbers. No matter how profitable you are, you can be running business like Toby does on 3-4% profit margins, but if you're not disciplined, those 3-4% can go away easily. That's it for Napa Builders Company Tour. Comment something nice to Toby and his team if you enjoy their company, if you enjoy them opening doors to us, inviting us to their business. We love traveling to successful, solid businesses, recommending them to our homeowners. If you feel like you have a good business and you want to showcase how you do things, reach out to us. Maybe we'll come to you. Give it a like, subscribe to the channel if you're new here. I'll see you guys in the next video.